Hello, guys. How you guys
Hey!
doing? Whoa!
Oh
What
my
the hell?
gosh.
Wait,
Hey, what's that in front of your face?
I don't know. Wait, what is this? Is this
It looks like a new
a new
microphone. Oh
microphone?
my gosh.
What?
Here
Hey,
we
wait,
are.
Matthew,
Yes.
you're back?
I'm back.
What?
I wasn't here last week. You
What
you
happened
you
last
held
week?
down the ship by yourself.
What happened?
I went home. It's not too interesting, but when I was home, I had a very good time. My little brother was in a musical.
Ooh, how was it?
It was great. He was in Anything Goes, so it was like a high school production. And yeah, back in high school, I did theater for my senior year, so it was nice going back and seeing the kiddies again,
Nice,
seeing
nice,
them all
nice.
perform and do a great job. So it was a really fun time.
Nice.
Thanks for putting on a great show, guys. If you're watching, love you.
So,
Mwah.
Matthew,
Yes,
what are we doing here?
we.
What is the show that we're on right now?
Well, Zach, and you are Zach.
I
and
am
Matt,
Zachary. You are Matthew.
and this
We are
is the
Wolfpack
Wolfpack Podcast.
Podcast.
Thank you so much, guys, for tuning
Yay!
in.
Episode
Third
12?
12?
I think it's 12.
Is it 12?
We've been doing this for 3 months now.
Oh my goodness.
3 months, and we now have our own microphone.
We have our own microphones. No more renting them out of the library. You guys sat there through us, like jostling around the microphones, making bad pop, pop, pop,
pop,
noises.
pop, pop. We also
Now-
got pop filter. I hope it's working.
Yes, hopefully it's working well.
Hopefully these microphones are good.
But here we are with new microphones, new news to talk about,
New news.
new movies and
New
music that
movies,
we've listened to.
new TV
There's
shows.
Lots of stuff
I think
going
the
on.
first time talking about TV shows.
Yeah, we haven't really. Oh, I mean, I brought up Twin Peaks a couple times.
Oh, true.
But
And-
as
and
far
It's
as new
Always
TV, there's
There's
something
quite
big.
a bit going down in the world of entertainment,
Whew.
baby.
But before we get to all that, Zach, what do the people out there have to do?
You guys have to go down in the description. We got Patreon. We got Twitter. We got Instagram. We got Facebook. We got all that good stuff down in the description. And if you want to skip a topic, we got timestamps down there. So if you want to skip a topic, we got time codes down there that you just click on the time and you can see that topic by itself.
Wow.
Right?
Now
That
that is
was-
great.
That was efficient.
Yes, it
I'm
was.
getting better at this.
So we've got all the stuff here.
We got
because-
everything down in the description, everyone. And yeah. Oh, also, if you want to see your topic on this show, we have a $2 tier on Patreon. You can pledge $2 and you can get your topic on the show. Like last week, I skinned a chicken for you guys.
while doing ASMR.
While doing ASMR.
Two different Patreon topics submitted by you lovely people out there. So keep them coming, and you will get lovely content just like what Zach was able to give you last week.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh,
Isn't it great, Matthew?
it is great.
It's great.
Woo.
It's fucking great. Oh, I can't curse.
Uh-oh.
Well,
no more censoring.
yeah, no more censoring.
We got some long form content this week.
I know. It's not edited or anything like
Oh
last week.
boy.
Well, Matthew,
Yes.
what's our first thing? First,
Well-
let's go in order.
Yes.
Or in order of importance. Matthew, last week I discussed two things.
What did you discuss?
Us and Supermarket.
Yes.
What did you think of Us first? Actually, what did you think of Supermarket
Okay.
first off?
So I have not listened to the entire album of Logic Supermarket like you have.
Yep.
But from the tracks that you showed me and the few that I was able to get through on my own, I was able to come to the conclusion that it was not very good.
Awesome.
It was not. It's pretty cheesy.
It's pretty cheesy.
It's pretty pretty dramatic, pretty emo.
Well, what was your initial reaction to it when we were listening to it?
When I first heard it, I said, "No, this isn't Logic. There's no way Logic
is
came out
not
with an
Logic.
alt rock album, and it's definitely not oddly melodic. I don't know. Like it was like I was like, this is, I want to like this, but I also don't. And after a few listens, though, I got past like the initial shock stage of being like, do I like this? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, no,
that
it's
was
not
me too.
that great. Now there is whatever. There's one song where it's like she's a pretty young lady.
Oh yeah, pretty young thing.
That one is kind of catchy.
Yeah.
Other than that, I wasn't too crazy about the songs that I heard on the album.
Yeah.
Logic Supermarket, you get a 2 thumbs down from Maddie B.
2 thumbs down.
Maybe 1.5. But either way, I wasn't a huge fan. I miss everybody from Logic. You know,
You miss everybody?
I miss everybody.
Jeez.
You know, if
Jesus
this
Christ.
if this album came out a couple years ago, I'd probably have the same nostalgic connection that I do to everybody. But it didn't. It came out right now, and right now I don't like Supermarket. So Supermarket, see ya.
Bye bye.
But what did I see and what did I like?
What did you like, Matthew?
We watched Us, which you talked about on the last episode,
Uh-huh.
and
I think now we're okay to talk about spoilers.
probably
Yeah. So everyone, if you haven't seen Us, just skip ahead. We're going to talk about spoilers. We got
Little bit
time
of-
codes down there. You can skip ahead.
little bit of
And if you
spoiler
don't want to
talk.
hear us talk about Us, just skip ahead. So Matthew,
Yes.
we're talking about spoilers. What'd you think of Us?
Us was really good.
It
It was really good. As we mentioned it in the predictions video for the year at the top of our podcast.
Yep.
Way in the very beginning.
Second episode.
I did not think Us would be as good as it was.
Mhm.
I really thought that it was going to pale in comparison to Get Out by a large margin. And I might have to eat my words.
You
on
thought it
this
was
one.
better?
No. At the moment, I'd say I want to see Us again. I saw Us once, and I think it deserves a second viewing. I think
Yeah.
it warrants it, and I think it'll probably give me a better holistic opinion on the movie if I see it a second time.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I'd say it's right about there on par with Get Out.
On par?
I think it's about on
Wow.
par.
Wow.
Now, they're different things. Get Out is more of your thriller. It's more of your Oscar kind of movie, the way it was last year. Was it last year?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Us is more of a straight up entertainment filled horror movie. It's just fun.
It's just straight
It's
up
fun. It's not about too much. It's not all political. Although there's some maybe some political misleading as far as what the twist is and all that kind of stuff. Oh, since we are talking spoilers,
Yeah.
like whatever that hands in hands thing was.
Yeah.
And the way the movie ends on a certain shot, that is not just the family. That is not just like what you've been following this entire movie. It ends on the movement. What does this mean?
I think you and I differ in what we think the movie is.
Yeah.
I'm not of the opinion that it's anything political.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's anything political.
Yeah.
I don't think he's trying to get like any point across or anything like that with this. I mean, he's trying to get like a human point across and like about people and stuff, but it's
Mhm.
not like political like Get Out. I don't think.
I think I agree with you there, though.
Like I don't think it's like this political like I don't know. Like
Well-
it's not the message that Get Out was. This
Yeah.
is more about like who we are on the inside. It's more like about like an internal struggle rather than like an external
Mhm.
struggle like the USA
And that's
everything.
definitely kind of what I was saying coming out of the movie.
Yeah.
Was just like, because I know our initial reactions were a little bit different than the way they are right now.
Yeah. Which
so,
is good.
yeah, coming out of the movie, I know I was like, there's definitely a meaning to this. Like, there's definitely more to this than
Yeah.
just because I guess like Jordan Peele had been coming out and saying like, hey, it's not about anything. Like, it's like
Mhm.
it might not be about anything. Like, don't put too much meaning into it.
Yeah.
And to that I said, that's bullshit.
I don't think it's bullshit.
I think to a certain extent, the way he means it, it's not. But for him to come out and say it means nothing is a lie. Like, I think that's a lie. So I think he's definitely going against the people who are going into this thinking it's the sequel, like it's the next thing after Get Out. It's going to be the next political thing. Jordan Peele is going to be a political horror, like thriller director, and that's not necessarily the case with this movie. He definitely has a type of movie that he kind of makes at the moment,
Yeah.
judging by the first two that we've seen.
Yep.
But there's definitely meaning, like you were saying, like there's commentary on the human condition in this movie, as most movies do have.
Well, yeah. But even
So-
like it meaning nothing, that gets into a whole different discussion
Yeah.
about like if something means nothing, it means something kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like a loophole. If something means nothing,
Mm-hmm.
then it means something.
And I'm sure Jordan Peele is probably trying to do that. Like,
Yeah.
also just so that he doesn't fall into a certain box
No.
or category
I think
as
this-
just like a woke horror
Yeah.
thriller director.
I think he's trying to get out of that. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure like obviously he's gonna have like some political stuff just by having like having like African American leads and
Mhm.
everything. It's a political statement and everything. Like it's gonna be political,
Sure.
but it's not like an outright political kind of movie like Get Out was, where it's like the whole thing's a giant metaphor for being black in America right now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is more or less just about like a people struggle on the
Mhm.
inside. I think now what I'm leaning towards is that it's about our inner desires
Mm-hmm.
and like our inner how we feel on the inside versus how we project ourselves in the outside kind of thing, how we're
Mm-hmm.
all ugly on the inside and we all have that ugly side to us. That's what I'm leaning more towards is what the movie's about. Again, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. But
Well-
it's like that's what I'm leaning towards right now.
Yeah, and I think that's also the initial feeling that might get people thinking like, "Oh, it's got to be political. It's got to be this, that," because you come out of the movie confused.
Oh yeah.
You come out of the movie wondering, is there more to it? Is
Yeah.
this what it is and I'm just supposed to be confused? Or is it like that, like the human desire kind of like just strip it down to like a story level? Is it just personal connections and that kind of stuff?
Like a personal struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that is probably what it comes down to because I think that's what Jordan Peele leaned back on
Mm-hmm.
in this movie where he's like, you know what, I don't have to do anything political. I'm just going to go for a good story. And I think that's what he delivered on.
I think so too. And also I think it obviously I don't think this movie's gonna be as important as Get Out was.
No. And
But I don't think he was going for that.
it definitely wasn't his
Yeah.
intention.
No,
Yeah.
I think what he's trying to go for is like a fun horror movie that has like a certain message to it, but it's not like a big like I don't know, just not a big political message.
Yeah, I think it speaks more towards Jordan Peele's goals for the long term by
Yeah.
not just going for the same kind of thing and falling into this like political
the
kind of-
political, the
like a
thriller.
political hole here.
Yeah.
So he could have just came back and tried to do what Get Out did again, and it would have failed. Like he would have like if he was trying to just go for the exact same thing,
Yeah.
and it ran way too close to Get Out, which was
People
my
wouldn't
fear.
have liked it.
I thought like seeing that trailer, I was like, if this movie is too close to Get Out, it's gonna
fail.
it's gonna do poorly because everyone's they'll have already seen Get Out and it won't be fresh anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was smart for him, number one, for his career, not to fall into the same box, and number two, to just go for something more from his heart
Mhm.
rather than trying to get a bigger response from people from
Yeah.
like their political side of their hearts.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we
But-
both enjoyed it though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We both very much enjoyed it.
And that theater experience, we both saw it together.
Yeah. No,
That
the
was a
theater
great
experience was
time.
incredible.
That was a great
Like
time.
seeing everyone get into the movie, and also it's an original movie.
Mhm.
So seeing like a response from an original movie
yeah.
like that is just incredible.
And also, like, beyond the meaning and all that kind of stuff, just straight down to, like, the craft of the movie, there was some great suspense.
Mm-hmm.
There was some great comedic moments.
Yep.
Just, like, good comedy in general. But the balance of it, I thought, was, like, the star of that movie.
Yeah.
More so than, not more so, but, I mean, like, the leads were great. But just, Jordan Peele was very present in that movie. You could definitely feel his hands in it, really making scenes that much better, I felt
Mhm.
like.
No, yeah, he had a great handle on that movie. I think
Mhm.
even better than Get Out.
I
Just
agree.
because I think Get Out for me had this kind of dip in the middle where
Mhm.
it's like it didn't really know what I mean, obviously knew what it wanted to be. It had a very strong message behind it. But I think the middle it kind of got lost a little bit. Like I at least I got bored in the middle.
Yeah.
Whereas with this one, it was like straight up like horror the entire time and it never let up. And I really liked it.
It was also an interesting thing because it's just going for different things.
Yeah.
But it felt like the levity in Get Out was mainly like it was kind of hinging on one character.
Yeah.
in I don't know, his cop friend, like the TSA agent.
Yeah.
Like it was just like okay, like it's kind of heavy here. Let's cut away to the funny guy.
Mm-hmm.
In
This one, it was
in
like
Us, it was like it melded.
everyone. Yeah.
It was like in the horror moments, you also had moments where it's like, oh wait, this is funny.
yeah.
And this is just lighter, and like it's more of just a wave rather than cutting back and forth, which there's no problem with that in Get Out because we just didn't know that he could balance the both.
yeah.
But he really did a great job of that in Us. That
Yeah.
was one of the main things I really loved.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't a disappointment. It gets me
yeah.
hyped up for like horror in
Yeah.
2019. Just because like I think Midsummer's coming out.
Yes.
Yeah, Midsummer. I
Yeah,
think
we got
is like,
Midsummer.
and then the week after that or the week before that is the director of Babadook's new movie.
Ooh.
So it's like a back-to-back week of like 2 weeks of having great horror.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I wonder if horror's gonna be the standout this year. You got Pet
Maybe.
Cemetery that apparently is really
This
good.
week we have Pet
Yeah,
Cemetery.
we got Pet Cemetery this week. Apparently it's really good.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
I don't know, but I mean, I guess that I don't know if we have anything more to say about Us, but I mean, wow.
I'm good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we can move past Us because you had spoken on it last
Yeah.
week, and
But it was a
But-
good time.
yeah, Us was a really good time.
It was a good time.
Well, that
Well,
was fun.
Matthew,
Yes. What
new
else is
stuff
going
has
on?
come out.
What has come out?
So first things first. Before we get into everything first, like
Mhm.
with all the new stuff that's come out, something happened this week.
Actually, before we head into that kind of stuff, do we want to follow up with just like what Jordan Peele is doing now that we just watched? Or
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
okay, let's do that. So, other than us, Jordan Peele has been up to different things
Mm-hmm.
recently.
Yeah.
He has it's been around the news. Everyone knows that the new Twilight Zone series is coming out. It
Yep.
has already come out. It's premiered, and I guess it's on its second episode now. That's been released
Yeah.
to the people who have to the
Like
10 people who have CBS All Access who are watching it.
yeah. I hate this. Okay, so
It's a
that's a different topic.
That's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole nother thing. But the show on its own, we haven't watched the second episode. We watched the first episode on YouTube just
Mhm.
because I'm not going to pay $10 a month for CBS All Access for what Star Trek Discovery and Twilight Zone, and that's fucking it.
Yeah.
So,
So
it's whatever. I hate the paywall shit that everyone's doing right now, but
yeah,
it's whatever.
you just kind of you have to join it, or you're missing the boat.
Yeah, or pirate it.
Yeah.
So,
I just mean like for the different companies that are like, oh man, we have to have subscriptions also.
oh
Because,
yeah.
I mean, it's nothing new really. We've all had to pay cable in the past anyway. So
Well, everything's going to turn
Yeah.
into cable.
yeah,
Everything's going to turn into cable. But
we're breaking away so that we can
yeah.
make a new one. But but Twilight Zone,
Yeah,
the
Twilight-
pilot, the comedian, starring what? How do you say his name?
Kumail Nanjiani.
Yes.
So, Twilight Zone had a new episode this week. It's the premiere of the entire show. It's the new iteration of this new age of Twilight Zone, and Jordan Peele's like kind of behind it, but also like it's coming out that he's not really behind it.
Mhm.
Like he's kind of just there for like the story aspect and producing, but not like writing and directing, which is a shame, but it's whatever. But the first episode came out and we both watched it. Matthew, what did you think?
I thought, I don't know. So I went into Twilight Zone with decent expectations because I'm excited for this series.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it gets better from what we saw in the first pilot,
Mm-hmm.
but I was not left extremely disappointed. I'd say slightly disappointed.
Yeah.
I was by this first episode. I thought it was okay. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't anything special. It kind of felt like one of those Twilight Zone episodes where you're like, yeah, it's okay. Let's just go like watch one of the classics now.
Yeah.
Because I think that's just the nature of Twilight Zone in general, is because it is this anthology show that's just one-offs here and there. You're going to get weaker episodes and you're going to get stronger episodes. In the case of the comedian this week, I felt like it was kind of like middle of the line where I was like, okay, ending was kind of predictable. The overall, just like I wasn't in love with the episode. I wasn't really invested too much, but I was like, I mean, I want to give this a shot. I want to like it. The story felt like something Jordan Peele would have written. I don't know, like it felt personal
I think he
to
did
him.
the story.
Yeah, so I guess I was under the impression that Jordan Peele was like writing and like really running the show, which he might be.
I don't
But
think he is though.
but apparently, yeah, like you were saying,
Yeah.
he's just
apparently, what he's doing is like he's producing the show. I might be wrong. I might be wrong about this whole thing, but apparently he's writing the show. Well, he's not writing anything. So he's doing the story. Like he's leading like the story team behind it,
mhm.
and he's producing it. So he's putting money behind it and steering like who's on the show and stuff. Which is why there's so many like comedians on the show. Like there's like Seth Rogen and a lot of other people. I
Yeah.
think Adam Scott's on this week or
Mhm.
whatever. So, but yeah, so he's basically involved, but not in the extent that I wanted him to be. And also, he's playing the Rod Serling character. But like Rod Serling was like the writer behind it, so it's like,
yeah.
why are you playing Rod Serling?
Yeah.
But-
That's why it's just like it makes sense for him to write them. Why wouldn't he be? Or even
I think it's just a name.
or to just be like the head of the writers' room. Like just work on it because it is your show now.
Yeah, I don't.
And that's part of like the main hype behind this show is like they're like, "Ooh, Jordan Peele is doing this. Why then would you kind of back off?" Unless he's working on, I don't know, to make Get Out, Us, and then the next thing.
Well, I think there was another TV show that he got signed on to around the same time. So
Okay.
maybe this is like his B project where it's like he's like, yeah, I'm invested, but it's not like
it's interesting priorities because I feel like, I mean, at least right now, from what we know, Twilight Zone has quite a bit of hype. I feel like people are excited for
Really?
it. I mean, was it shown at the Super Bowl or was it not?
It was shown, but like I didn't see like fuck Twilight
Okay,
Zone.
maybe not like, I mean, at least just for myself.
Yeah.
for myself, and like I feel like when I listen around to different people are excited to see Twilight Zone
Yeah.
come back.
I mean, maybe. I haven't seen anything about it.
But
Another thing about this. Okay, we didn't even go into what we thought about the comedian.
yeah,
What did you think? Oh wait, no, I didn't go into.
yes, go ahead.
So I was very confused. I hated it at first.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first 20 minutes, I was like, "What the fuck is this shit? Like, this is awful." And then as it got into it, I was like, "Okay, there's some redeeming aspects of it." Like, I think, first things first, I think Kumail Nanjiani, he was okay,
Yeah,
but
I
like
thought he did a pretty good job.
the dramatic moments, I didn't think he sold very well.
Yeah.
Specifically, okay, we're gonna talk about spoilers also. If you want to skip ahead, it's on YouTube. Just go check it out.
Yeah, which is also a pretty nice thing.
Yeah,
if they
that
put
was
it on
pretty
YouTube.
nice.
But go ahead.
But the dramatic moments, like towards the end when he's yelling at everyone, I was like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
this is so dumb. I was like, I think he sold the comedian moments and the more subdued moments, and those were my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he's like doing the subdued, like, oh, I'm gonna do this thing, and it's like cool. But as it got into it, it's like he's yelling at the crowd, like, your name, your name, your name. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, dude. Like, why would he turn into such a psychopath?
It's also
Such a
just, like,
psychopath.
yeah, I guess it does kind of also go back to the writing, where some of that stuff was just silly, and it also felt a little redundant.
Yeah,
I don't know,
because
just
it
like-
kept on doing the same. It
Yeah.
would be great for a half an hour episode, but it was an hour.
Yeah, like I would like click on the screen, and I'm like, really? We're only halfway through?
Yeah,
Like it felt like we were already getting there,
Well-
and then it felt like there was like a 20-minute period where he was doing the exact same shit.
well,
And I
that's
was
what I
like,
mean.
why?
Like specifically, like the scene with like the other comedian that pissed him off.
Yeah,
Like that whole scene. It's like you don't need it.
I was expecting that. I don't know, like
I was
the
expecting
thing
it,
was,
but
yeah,
like
I didn't really notice it until after I had watched it, but I was like, wow, every beat of that I knew was coming.
oh, I knew it was
From the
coming.
minute
Oh,
the minute
yeah.
they set it all up.
Like once they said that, it was like you gotta say the name, and then like they disappear. I'm like,
Yeah.
the ending's gonna be him saying his name,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And
and
he's
that's
gonna
not
go-
how
like,
Twilight Zone
it's-
is.
Yeah,
Twilight Zone-
it shouldn't be that
A good
clear.
Twilight Zone, at least,
Yeah.
isn't like that.
No,
It's a twist. The twist should have been something different. And also Tracy Morgan is like this like vaping devil creature. I was like, what the fuck?
he's a beloved comedian.
But another thing is like it felt okay. So I didn't love it. You can tell I
No.
didn't love it. Another thing is that yeah, it felt passionate for Jordan Peele, and I was like, okay, like it's a good idea. There's a lot to say about the entertainment industry with this whole thing. But like, it felt like the CBS writers came in and took the story
Yeah.
and fucked it all up.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. It definitely felt like there were like a couple hands making the script because it's a little inefficient.
And
It just felt
tonally inconsistent with like there will be scenes where it's like you can suck my vagina or something, and it's like what? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
That girl character was weird.
Yeah, that whole scene. And remember that one scene in the closet or whatever, where they're just like talking, and then halfway through she like kisses him out of nowhere, and it's just like,
Yeah.
you know, someday I would throw you some pussy.
Ugh, it was weird.
like it was like
That was really
what?
weird.
Because I respect your comedy so much, but she hated him.
Yeah.
What?
And
And they never explained if it was like the Tracy Morgan character took over her or something. It's like, oh, that doesn't make any sense.
yeah, the thing is like it does kind of seem like if it is true with Jordan Peele really just being the story part and then kind of handing it off to the writers to go like they basically go and make the show then.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense to me because the
It
concept
felt like it.
because the concept of the comedian, I was like, this is cool. This could be good groundwork for the pilot of Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone.
Mm-hmm.
Like a good kind of personal, like it's kind of like meta in that way where it's like, oh, Jordan Peele's a comedian and he doesn't want to be like he's not funny all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just like it felt like something he like took from his heart. But then they did like they kind of just ripped it apart.
But then they got the CBS writers that write like the Blacklist
yeah.
to like write this, and it's like, ugh,
Yeah.
like what the hell?
And I think that's mainly like where I thought it was decent or like the redeeming parts were kind of just like in the idea of like Jordan Peele writing this.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was like, oh cool, he's talking about being a comedian and it's like it's personal to him and like that I enjoyed. Where I was like, okay, I like that Jordan Peele's trying to like put a personal touch into the pilot of the Twilight Zone show. That was like the main thing that I enjoyed. When it comes down to the technical stuff, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, that's the thing with me is that like I like the meaning behind it,
Yeah.
but I
The
don't like
execution
the
was
execution
really
was
off.
so off, and also I don't understand the cursing in it. Like I'm usually not one to be like big about like, oh, I don't like cursing and
Yeah.
everything, obviously, but like something about like cursing in Twilight Zone. It's like, huh? It's like if
Yeah.
It's like if Twilight Zone is really violent, which it looks like it's gonna be by like the trailer. Like there was a trailer with like some guy had a ton of blood on him. And it was like, "Come get me, baby," or something. It's like, oh no, is this gonna be like the new age Twilight Zone where it's like super violent and not like reliant on like actual like tension
Yeah.
and
I mean,
actual filmmaking? And it's just, I don't know. It's kind of disappointing because I was really looking forward to it.
yeah. And I
Mm.
guess as far as the cursing goes, it's almost like you'd think that there would be almost like a respect to
Yeah.
where to the source,
It feels disrespectful.
and where it's like, wait, like why don't you try to keep this like a classic family show? Like Twilight Zone can be watched by an entire family, you
That's
know?
enough. Yeah.
It's very like it's pretty innocent. There are like some serious topics it tackles, but for the most part it's like, yeah, you're going in there for like a fun thing that you didn't expect.
Get like the kids scared and the
Yeah.
adults are like intrigued by it and everything. It's like it's a nice family horror movie that's liked by everyone.
Yeah.
But like this, it feels like nope, we're going just for the teenagers and the adults because kids can't watch this.
No.
They wouldn't get it. First off, and then all of a sudden hearing like all these curse words, it's like, oh, don't say that.
Yeah, and some of the beauty also with Twilight Zone is that like it was that family show that also like it tackled different things where like the horror or the scary parts of Twilight Zone were because it's like commentary on us.
Yeah.
Like take an episode like the monsters are due on Maple Street. The scary part of that is like when everyone goes crazy and they're all turning on each other
Yeah.
because it's just that's like the breaking down of us as humans.
Mm-hmm.
And that was cool. Like that it had the tension, it had the scary moments, and it had something to take away from it.
No, yeah.
And
I
then you come
agree.
to this and you're like, I mean, like, yeah, I get what to take away from it, but if I just read the synopsis, I'd also get that. Like, they're just like, there wasn't a whole lot that it brought in the episode itself.
No, there's also like I got the message by like moment one. The camera died, everyone. You know
Hello.
how it goes. You know,
Yes.
we got a camera. That's the next thing to fix. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we have the new mics, but we still have the camera issue.
Yep.
But, oh
That's
well.
whatever.
Anyway, I mean, Twilight Zone was what it was.
Yeah,
It
Twilight
was
Zone was
a bit disappointing,
disappointing.
but I'm curious to see what comes later of it. The
Mhm.
second episode, I really feel like I can't judge that much because it seems like
It's a remake of Nightmare at 30,000 feet
yeah.
or 20,000 feet,
So
which is like you're gonna follow
It's
it up with
fine.
like a classic, but like at the same time, it's kind of like the boring classic where it's
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
how many times have we seen that one?
it's fine to put that in to this season, even though it's like the third time seeing it now. But we're not gonna have a really good read on the show if the pilot wasn't that great. If the second episode's a remake, it'll be maybe the third episode where we're like, does this show even like
Do anything?
does it deserve my money for CBS All Access or anything
Yeah.
like that? Like that's the thing is like you should be selling us here.
Well, you know, I'm gonna be doing this thing where once the season's done, then I'll get the free trial.
Yeah,
Watch it
and then
all.
you'll go and binge it.
I'll
That's
binge
a good
it,
idea.
and then I'll just pirate it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to hide it behind the paywall, it's like okay, I'm just not gonna watch it then.
Yeah. It's a shame that it has to be exclusive. That you have to pay for
Imagine
it.
it being on Netflix.
Yeah.
Imagine Netflix.
That would be hot.
I mean, Netflix like kind of fucks things up a little bit because they're like going for original shows or whatever. But like, imagine if like a Netflix was behind it, like
Mhm.
a classic like House of Cards, like Mindhunter type of like good Netflix.
Yeah. The way I was saying how like I think people are hyped for it. If Netflix was doing it,
Oh, it'd
people
be
would
huge.
already have seen it.
No,
like,
people would
would
be
have finished
talking about the entire thing. Like
Yep.
it would be huge. But no, they have to do a CBS All Access where no one's gonna watch it.
it. Yeah.
It's like, why don't you get more money if you sold it to Netflix?
I'm very curious, like, if there was a way to see the ratings for something like a Twilight
Oh,
Zone
they
on
would
CBS.
never.
No, I know they
They
wouldn't
would
show it,
never.
but I'm just so curious to see what numbers like that are.
I know.
They've got to be disappointing. I
They
imagine.
have to be.
I
Like,
like,
the first episode had like what 600,000.
yeah. I mean,
views?
like, I just feel like we are part of that target demographic of like people who actually like
Give a
care.
shit? Yeah.
Yeah, like we actually care about this, but we're still not like buying it right now.
No.
We're not buying it. We're not trying to check out CBS All Access. I'm not a huge Star Trek fan. But no, like I'm just not. You're not selling me. You know.
I don't know. It's whatever.
I don't know. But either way, that's Twilight Zone.
Yep.
We've got things other than TV to talk about.
Well, first off, before we get into all that,
Yeah.
so something horrible happened this past week. I just want to put it in the middle episode so we're not talking about it later on and
Yeah.
on like a sad note.
Yeah.
But something horrible happened this week. Nipsey Hussle, the rapper and businessman, got shot in front of his own store that he built and everything. And I'll get into why that's like horrible. I mean, obviously, him being killed is just horrible, and in front of his own daughter.
Wow.
So he got shot in front of his own store, in front of his own daughter, because of a business dispute or a personal dispute or whatever. It wasn't even gang related. And he got shot in the head and he died. Like, they couldn't resuscitate him or anything. So the thing that's awful about Nipsey Hussle, you don't know much about him, right?
No.
So I don't know much about him either, other than like what he's done for the community that he's in and everything, the South Central Los Angeles community, I think. But he was this businessman. He was a rapper, and he was like a self-start, like he was like a hustler and everything, like he was trying to get money. But he also was one to promote like investing in yourself and investing in businesses and land and everything, because that's gonna appreciate, not depreciate, like these jewels and everything, like jewelry. So what he was doing was that he was buying land and buying businesses so he can bring people that are underprivileged and like don't have any jobs or anything and are poor and like in that area and everything, and giving them jobs. And he was trying to bring back, like he was trying to like bring jobs to the African American community where he's in right now, Los Angeles, where it's like very poor and like underprivileged and everything. It's horrible. And then he got shot because of this whole thing. And he was trying to bring jobs, and he was gonna apparently the next day talk to the Los Angeles Police Department about fixing the schooling system there, and fixing how to promote anti-gang violence to these kids and how to bring them out of like poverty and everything, and just trying to better his community. But he got shot because of a personal dispute. And it's just horrible because he's doing all these like good things for the community. And it's like, why would, like, it's just, I don't know. It's awful to hear a guy that does such good things for everyone and everything to be killed because of some stupid thing.
Yeah.
The thing that, like, I don't know. I read a story about like this like lighting guy. He was like putting in like light bulbs or whatever to what are the things, like street lamps?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was putting in like light bulbs.
Lights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
street lights. And this guy, he's like, I mean, he's not getting paid much, and he's doing like his job and everything. And this man came out and basically thanked him for doing what he does for the community and replacing street lamps and everything, and just doing like a selfless act. And then he didn't know who he was or anything. And eventually he found out that was Nipsey Hussle. And it's like that guy was just like a good guy that was trying to better the community. And he is just such like a selfless guy that's trying to bring hope to a community that's like underprivileged in that area and everything. And it's just awful.
Yeah.
Like it brought me to like tears last night to see like that story and everything, just because it's like this man wasn't just like an artist. He was also like trying to physically bring work to his community and trying to really better us as a people and everything. And not like he was trying to end like this gang violence stuff, or at least like try to help to make it like better and everything. And it's just really awful to hear that it's happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It's just something I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
It's a big deal, because like the things that he's doing, people have to like further them. Like they can't just stop because of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like they need to like keep on doing this, because if they want to really like help themselves and help this community, like black or white, just you need to help people, and being a decent human being, and like starting up businesses and giving these people jobs that they can't get elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
and you need to help these people and everything. And it's awful to hear it, and it makes me sad.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. It's always tragic to hear when someone passes away.
yeah,
And especially when they're trying to make a positive change
yeah. And he
for
wasn't,
themselves and the people around them.
just like this artist that I loved or anything. He wasn't
Yeah.
like, I didn't even listen to his music, but like hearing what he was doing for the community and doing all this stuff, it's just horrible. And he's not just an artist that's like, oh man, I really like this music, and he promoted a positive message. He was like,
He's just a guy.
he was a guy that was trying to actually, and he was bringing work to this area and everything.
Mm-hmm.
He was buying properties, and it was just, I don't know, makes me sad.
Yeah.
So
It's a
a,
shame.
a moment of silence for Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Just awful. It made me sad.
Hmm.
But on a lighter note,
Music is not all sadness today.
it is not all sadness.
There is new music.
There is absolutely new music.
I know for me, the biggest thing that came out recently was the Billie Eilish album.
The Billie Eilish
Ooh,
album.
was I excited? Jacob was excited too. Sadly, we didn't talk about this at the top of the show. He's
Oh,
not
yeah.
here. He's
If you couldn't tell.
he's still not here.
Yeah.
But both him and you were excited also. The new Billie Eilish album. Is
I
out.
wasn't excited. I wasn't as excited as you guys.
Yeah. Oh, I was just saying
yeah.
like you.
I
were
was like relatively
yeah.
excited.
Before Jacob and I were like actually
Those
like we were anticipating it.
you guys are
you
like
were
the big
you were
fans
like
and
okay,
everything.
it's coming and you'll
Yeah.
listen.
So before all that, 4 great albums came out last year. I meant last week. Billy
Mhm.
Wood's new album is great. There is a Show Me the Body LP that's really good, and there is a Quelly Chris album that was really great last week. Go check them out, everyone. But we're here to talk about Billie Eilish because no one else gives a shit about those other guys, so it's okay. Go check out those albums, though; they're very good. But yeah,
Billie
we were
Eilish.
very, very much looking forward to
The Billie Eilish
the
album.
Billie Eilish album.
Following because Billie Eilish really, other than her singles that she's put out that everyone has heard,
Oh yeah,
and
Ocean Eyes.
other things like Ocean Eyes that came out on SoundCloud in like 2013 or something. We've
Ocean
only
Eyes,
had
Copycat.
we've only had her EP.
Yeah.
Is what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like we only have it was like 7 or 9 tracks or something.
For like a few years,
Yeah,
and she
that
has
was-
grown exponentially. Like
Yeah.
this girl is like the biggest deal right now.
She is
She
crazy.
is like
she's
like,
everywhere.
17 years old, and she's like the top of the charts and everything.
Yeah,
She's just like she's doing great.
and she's I don't know. I really enjoy this album too.
And
was a good
surprisingly,
time.
I did too.
Yeah.
Which is weird as fuck because I mean I'm not like against pop. One of my favorite records this year is the new Ariana Grande album, but
Mhm.
it's like something about like Billie's persona just kind of irked me, just
Mhm.
because of how I don't know, just how
She's very edgy.
edgy.
She's there's like an immature air
Yeah.
to her music.
yeah.
Where
And
it's just like, you
the
know what?
people around
You're
it-
definitely 17. Like
Yeah.
that's just kind of like the way it goes with her music. Some songs a little less than others, but for the most part, if you look at her discography so far, which isn't that big,
No.
but if you look at it, it's pretty immature. It looks like a 16-year-old, a 15-year-old, now a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
It looks like she made it.
Yeah, so that was my biggest issue. Is just the people around it just
Yeah.
kind of praising her to be this god figure, and I didn't think. I mean, it's kind of like cliche to call her like a Lord ripoff, but the feeling that I got from her was like a cheap Lord, like at least for me, like a more immature version of her.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the biggest fan of her going into this,
Mm-hmm.
but this album really surprised me.
Yeah.
It had
And-
some great pop tunes on it.
Yes,
like,
it did.
Starting off the album with "Bad Guy,"
Oh my
great,
gosh.
great fucking song.
That is great. That could have
great tone setter for the entire.
That could have
album.
been interchanged with any of the other singles that came out previously
Mhm.
as like one of the big pushers for the album because that
Oh,
is
yeah.
that is a fun song.
Yeah,
It's a fun, catchy
It's-
song.
yeah. Like
Ugh.
the starting off with "Bad Guy," it's a great song. Then "Zanny."
Mm-hmm.
I know you're not the biggest fan. of
I
Zanny.
actually I've been listening to it a little bit more. It's grown on me.
Good.
It's
Good.
grown on me.
I
I
like
really
Zanny.
like now listening back to the album in different bursts and stuff. But there aren't a whole lot of weak tracks for me.
That's what I felt like straight out the gate.
Yeah,
where
like-
it's like
like different tracks that I wasn't as huge on. I like now. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's a very solid album.
the album from like top to bottom. I think there's only like one or two songs that I don't care for. And
Mm-hmm.
that's I Love You, just because of how obvious of an influence Hallelujah was on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that build up to the chorus, I think is too Hallelujah, like
Mm-hmm.
the na, 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 like that
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff. Like I don't know, it was very Hallelujah influence, but I wasn't crazy on that or Elo Milo. Is the other
Mm-hmm.
one? I don't know. It was just kind of like a whatever song.
Yeah, the interesting thing about the new Billie Eilish music is almost like I feel like I can always pick a song that it sounds similar to, at least in like a moment. Like there's a few where I just feel
Like
like
what?
I'm like this feels like this feels like this. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just like, yeah, I mean this has worked in the past and that's part of why I love that song.
Yeah.
There's like a part of her flow in what song was it? Oh, like the girls don't play well. It's like the fifth track.
Oh, all good girls go to hell.
All good girls go to hell. There's a part in that where she sounds like Glass Animals in Pork Soda. That's like one of their big songs. But and it's just like that like kind of
Yeah.
indie alt
I mean,
sound.
I don't know it.
Yeah, but
So
that's a song where I was like, oh, I kind of feel like just like the way
a
she
little
was
Glass
singing.
Animals influence.
Yeah, Little
Yeah.
Glass Animals influence, definitely Hallelujah and I Love You. Yeah, it's just you can just kind of tell. Even like Bury a Friend sounds familiar. I don't know what it is.
I think Fantano said it was like Yeezus, kinda.
Yeah,
Like the drums of it kind of reminded him of like the groove of Black Skinhead.
yeah,
I don't really see it. I mean, basically just like a very prominent like kick drum where it's just like boom ba boom ba boom ba boom.
yeah.
Like
Oh yeah. Okay, I see that. I see
yeah,
that now.
but it's like I don't know. That's a lot of music.
Yeah, and
It's
that's another thing.
yeah,
It's just like it's not necessarily taken from this one thing,
yeah,
but it might have sounded like really similar to something that we also know.
yeah. I don't know. It's at least for
Yeah.
me, the influences weren't like as prominent on this album, but I do see what people mean about like it's very contemporary and very
Mm-hmm.
like now, like it's very like influenced by other artists that are around right now.
Yeah, I'd say it's inspired for
Yeah,
sure. Like the production, different things like that.
but like it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No,
I think for
I
what it is for a pop album made by like a 17-year-old,
17.
great stuff.
No, yeah, I have no problem with it sounding similar to anything. I'm
Yeah,
just like, oh, that's fun. Like that's kind of funny that it sounds like this or that.
yeah,
And to go back to like the whole Lord thing, like when Royals came out and all that stuff, she was like 10. You know, like it's interesting because like
Oh, I thought
the
you meant Lord was 10. I was like,
no
what?
no like Billie Eilish,
Yeah,
like because
Billie
like
Eilish
Lana
was
Del
10.
Rey is like one of her influences. That's the thing. Is like she's a kid,
Yeah.
so she's still growing up on music that people came out with a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it's understandable for her influences in her music to be as prominent as they are because she's still getting them
Yeah.
as she's growing right now, making her own music.
That's another thing. Is
So
like
it's
if I made a song when I was like 17, it would be Childish Gambino
Sure.
inspired. Like it would just be Childish Gambino.
yeah, you're just like you're trying to kind of recreate what you know.
Yeah. Then she doesn't have like life experience to really make this like crazy like multi-dimensional like wholly original album. Like she doesn't have that in her. And I don't know a lot of people have been saying that's too edgy and too like immature and stuff, but like she's fucking 17. What do you expect it to be?
Yeah.
Like if you gave a 17-year-old girl an album and all the money in the world, it would be this album.
Mm-hmm.
And that like I think it's okay for it to be edgy because what other artist out there is doing super edgy pop music right now
And
at the mainstream level?
and it also speaks to her audience. I mean,
Yeah.
like that's what she's catering to. That's who she is right now. There's no problem with it.
No.
Like it's fine if it doesn't appeal to you personally.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Billie Eilish's audience is teenage girls
Oh yeah.
talking about boys, just like
Talking
being
about boys
angsty,
being heartbroken,
all
being
kinds of
sad
stuff.
and
Like
shit.
that's exactly what like the '90s kids listening to Nirvana loved.
Yeah.
That like different people didn't like because it's just like it's personal to
Yeah,
them.
like I just don't know the argument. I don't understand the argument of like it needs to not be edgy and it's too edgy for like her and everything. It's just like, no, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and
Like,
also it's not.
I don't mean that like it's okay to have a different opinion. I don't mean it. It's just like it's kind of like, well, what do you expect?
That's
Like,
kind of where I come down on
yeah,
it. I'm like, have you seen her? Have you seen her in an interview ever?
yeah.
Like, what kind of music do you think she's making?
She's gonna
She's
make
wearing,
edgy pop music.
yeah, she's wearing clothes that are like huge on her.
Yeah,
Like, she acts weird. She's quirky. What kind of music do you expect?
it's not gonna be
And
this multi-dimensional, subdued album.
it's also good music. Like,
No, it's
that's the
very
thing is
catchy.
like it might have some edgy lyrics here and there, but like you can't deny great production.
That's another thing. The
It's
production
catchy
on
as
this
hell.
album is fucking stellar. It's fucking
It
good.
is great.
It's great production. Like this,
Mm-hmm.
like the guy behind it. What's his name? Phineas.
Phineas is her brother.
Is that the guy that does all the production?
I'm not sure if he's the main producer, but he also co-writes songs with her, which is the interesting thing.
I think he's the producer.
He might be the main
Yeah.
producer.
But anyways, whoever the produced like this entire album, great job.
Yeah.
Like this album sounds great. The mixing on this whole thing, like how like big the bass is and how like
Mm-hmm.
huge everything is and how like the vocal effects like change the entire song as it's morphing and everything. It's awesome. Like I really just because like I've been getting more into like the production, just seeing this, it's like wow. At a pop level,
Mm-hmm.
like it's awesome. Because a lot of pop sounds the same right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. Like I like Ariana Grande's new album. It sounds like other Hot 100 songs. But hearing this, it's like all the focus on like bass and the drums and everything. It just sounds awesome. It's like a mix of like trap influence with like just standard pop nowadays,
Mhm.
trap pop, kind of like I think a little bit like Kanye, like a little bit Kanye
Mhm.
here and there with like the Yeezus and everything.
And then you
like-
also just have like the sad girl indie stuff.
Yeah,
That's
and then
just
you got-
great. Like it just
yeah.
fits. It
And
fits
then-
with what she does. She has
Yeah.
her hype songs. She's got her singles, that kind of stuff. And then there's more songs that take on like the when the party's over kind of vibe that single
like the
brought.
ballads,
The
and everything.
ballads, and that's where also that's like a nice part of this album that like kind of wraps it up. Is the last maybe
The last three songs,
three songs or so.
where
Was
it,
it, like,
it slows down into
Before
like
I
a
leave you or something. It's whatever.
yeah.
Something, and then like I love you, which I enjoyed. Like as far as like that like last little trio, I think it fits and it's nice.
Yeah.
And it is like it may be Hallelujah, but it's still catchy because it is like Hallelujah.
No, I get it. It's
So
just like for
I-
me, like
yeah.
when I hear it, it's like it's too Hallelujah for me. But like,
Yeah.
I understand that.
I definitely felt
appeal a little
Hallelujah
bit.
with you, but it didn't stop me from like getting like chills when it would come. And I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh, I still like it though.
Mhm.
But and then it ends really, really strong with
Yeah, with like bringing
Goodbye.
everything back and
Yeah,
everything.
it was really cool to hear like the melding of like different hooks from
Yeah.
different songs throughout the album, and then it all closes up, and I was like, yeah, you did it right. You did a
That
good
was
job.
I will say though, I think this is the last time she can do this exact sound.
Yeah.
I like the next because she did the sound on whatever the EP was, and then I
Mhm.
think this was improvement on all fronts with this album.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I think it was an improvement on all fronts, but it was still the same sound. But like I think the next album she needs to do something very different.
Mhm.
Not very different, but she has to do something different.
I think you will get something different because I had mentioned this to you earlier, but
8,
yeah,
yeah,
on the track 8, which is still like it's like the ukulele song, which is pretty similar to what you get in the like the EP. That's something that she's brought over now, and that might be a consistency for her in the next album. But I wouldn't mind that if she brings a certain like there's like a certain vocal tone in 8 where she wasn't necessarily going like
The whisper.
her high register, yeah, where it was just kind of like a normal, like it was just kind of Billie singing without like the like really catchy, and it's beautiful, but it's very like it's placed a lot throughout her
it's
music.
the entire album basically.
Yeah. So to get more of like that different kind of like it was like maybe a little bit lower and a little bit just like
a little
like
lower.
yeah, a little lower, just traditional kind of singing on 8. I think that might be part of the next sound. So I'd be very happy.
I
to hear
liked
that.
8, so if she goes there and
Yeah.
like plays more with like quirky effects and quirky production and everything, I'd be cool with it. But
Yeah.
like I just think the like low key bangers and the whispering and everything, I think she needs to like go further with the next album because I think
Yeah.
it'll start getting tired just because it's such like a one dimensional sound
Mm-hmm.
that she doesn't have much room to grow with. Like how much can you do? how many times can you do like the whisper low key banger thing
Mm-hmm.
without it sounding the same? It sounds the same on this album, but that's okay if it's like a cohesive album. But if she
Mm-hmm.
does like another like whole album like this, I don't know.
And also, it may like this album may catch criticism for being edgy or like immature still, but it's definitely an escalation and like a furthering of her maturity from the last EP.
Yeah.
As far as just like production and music and just like her ability, I feel like she sounds even better.
Yeah, for sure.
And the songs are better. Like this is gonna be like when I hear these songs, I can picture her actually performing these at concerts
Oh yeah.
with more energy than say like the majority of the songs on the EP. Like
Ocean Eyes
like
and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ocean Eyes, different things like that. Because you do get songs on the EP like Watch and Burn, like those songs, whatever. The ones that are kind of towards the end of the EP, where it falls into more of a like the Ocean Eyes feeling, and she's definitely moving away from that.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that. I like that she gave us more bangers, like a copycat, something more in that lane. And after this, maybe she won't even want to do bangers on in that kind of way.
Yeah.
But if she does, I'm welcoming that because they're great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just curious to see what comes next. But for now, we've got a lot of good songs to go for.
Oh yeah.
Like "Wish You Were Gay," that's a really good one too. I mean, it's a single. We had already heard it, but
It's grown
it's still
on me.
it's
That's
still a
the thing.
standout on the album.
That's the thing with me about this album is that like even the singles have grown on me.
Yeah,
Where it's like "Wish You Were Gay" grown on me. "Bury a Friend" grew on me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think "Bury a Friend's" a great song either way. Like before, I really liked it, but it's grown on me even more.
yeah.
"You Should See Me in a Crown's" grown on me. I don't know, just like this whole album. Oh, "When the Party's Over" really grew on me because I didn't like the song before, and now I'm like, oh, and the placement of the album, it's like I see what it is now,
Yeah.
and I don't know. Very much enjoyed this album.
Yeah.
I very much
It's
enjoyed it.
really good.
Again, my favorite album last week though was Billy Woods' album, but nobody cares.
What is the album called?
"Hiding Places" by Billy Woods, but nobody cares about it.
Okay. What's the best song?
What's the best song? "Big Fake Laugh" is really good. The last song's really good.
Okay, cool. What's next?
Huh?
I'm just kidding. No, that's good though.
No,
You
yeah,
said the
it's
ending
really
track?
good. It's really good. It's a rap album, but Billy Woods is one of the best rappers right now, and I really like it. But
Good.
yeah, if you guys like hardcore hip hop, go ahead and check it out.
Mm.
It's very much like it's not easy to listen to, but it's very very good. It's basically like if someone's just screaming in your ear the entire time about like conspiracy theories and like dark humor. And it's really really good.
Cool.
Like they're okay. I'm gonna go on a little tangent with this album.
Go for it.
So this whole album's basically about being in an area that you left behind and everything. And it's
Mhm.
like imagine being in like a theater when the movie's over.
Yeah.
And that's what this album is.
Oh,
And
I like that.
It's very much like I mean, it's very like loose concept, but he has like things about like he's getting his mail he's getting his mail and everything, and it like the previous owner's mail is coming to him, and it's like he can see everything that those owners like were saying and everything, and it's just like the whole idea of like being in an area where you're not supposed to be and like seeing things that you're not supposed to see and being basically alone in like this area that you're not supposed to be. And it's very awesome. It's very good. It's
Good.
very very good. Billy Woods is one of those rappers that he brings like a very unique vibe. It's like loner hip hop. I think I've heard it be described as. But it's good. So
Cool.
if you like hip hop like that, go check it out.
Check out Billy Woods.
Go check it out.
Both Billies delivering last week. Huh?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. But
Whew.
I think that's it for music.
Yeah. Nothing. I mean, that was like the main thing for me. That was like
Billie
the big thing I
Eilish.
listened to was Billie
Yeah.
Eilish. I'm still gonna be listening to that. That's fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think everyone is.
It's just fun to listen to.
But
Oh, I'm glad it wasn't a disappointment.
me neither. We
Yeah.
were wondering if it was going to be.
Yeah.
But now we're going to bring it to a semi-close. It's going to be a little bit of an extended close because we went over a bunch of topics. We went over a bunch of like movies, TV shows, music, Nipsey Hussle and everything. But now we're going to do a semi-closer, but it's going to be very extended edition of
How are you doing?
How Are You Doing, Matthew?
I am doing okay. I'm doing
Doing
all right.
okay?
I'm not doing like fantastic, but I'm doing all right. It was
Yep.
really nice to head home this last weekend. Like I said at the top of the show, it was nice to go see the musical and
Yeah.
support those kiddos. I missed them so much.
Mm-hmm.
It was really nice to see them again and just go and be in the theater where we used to be and just like see them perform. And oh my gosh, like, so my brother is an understudy for like the lead role
Yeah.
in the show.
What's an
And
understudy?
so the understudy means like he is there on call every night in case the lead, like the true lead, like gets sick or gets hurt or anything like that. So
Gotcha.
they're ready to hop in. But
Did
other than
they?
that, he had like a smaller role that he was doing every night. But
Gotcha.
then, so there was a Saturday matinee where he was able to play the lead because that was just the situation. They had set it
Ooh.
up where all the understudies were going to have their show,
Oh,
just
okay.
so that it wasn't like they were like preparing for something that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
They did get a show, and oh my gosh,
Do you do well?
he did so well. I was in
That's good.
tears. It
That's
was
good.
so good. I was so proud. So that lifted my spirits. But really, just like the entire experience of going here, I saw the show 4 times.
Oh, Jesus.
It's a really fun show, and it didn't like it. It wasn't hard to watch it each time
Yeah.
because there were different things I found. They were getting better, different things, and it just like it kind of like made me remember like how much I love the theater thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like a mixed emotions kind of thing where I'm like, oh my god, I'm so proud. I love this. I love going here like each day to try to like watch them do better each time.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, man, I miss doing it too.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's just kind of like a bittersweet thing. And also like seeing people that I know I'm not going to be able to see for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, summer's coming up. I hope to see them again. But
You will see
it
them
was
again.
very nice to just
Yeah.
go and experience this and like be with the family again. Really fun weekend. And that brought my spirits up. But at the same time, I was kind of like, I want to do it too.
Oh, so you're sad about like not being able to do it?
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, that would have been fun. Like
Yeah.
it just looks like fun.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's something that's been going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just reminiscing.
Yeah, reminiscing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like good or bad. It's just
Just reminiscing.
yeah, just reminiscing.
And the camera died.
Yes, it died again, but
It
that's
died
okay.
again.
I was basically finished with my little thought on how I was doing lately.
Yeah.
But Zach, how have you been?
I've been okay. This past weekend, I went up to FSU. It was a good time. It was good seeing Corinne and everything.
Very nice.
It got me thinking a little bit more about like UCF and the school and everything that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at the end of the day, I want to stay here and everything. It's just like seeing the film school, but seeing the film school, it's just like, man, kind of feels not like I should be there or anything. It's just like
Yeah.
I wanna like it was such like a huge portion of like my youth and everything
Yeah.
of like wanting to go there that I was just like, man, I wish I could have been able to experience this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad thing though. That's just how life is. Like, just sends you in different loops. But
Yeah.
another thing about this weekend, seeing like the film school and everything, and then being here and going through my classes. Like I registered for classes again. I don't know. It's just I've been feeling weird. Not about like film and like the podcast and everything. Not like bad. It's just like researching it so much has been getting me so worn down.
Yeah.
It's getting me so worn down. Like I've been researching constantly how to like get more views and like promote your podcast and promote like your videos and promote like how to get jobs out there and everything and how to get like a good career out of film, and it's just bringing me fucking down.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's so I don't know. It's just so tiring to see over and over again such not fakeness. It's not fake. It's not
Mhm.
like because it is real that you need to like promote your podcast and everything. It's just not like fun or easy or like it's just weird to see this abstract thing turn so objective, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it's just so weird because it's like if I'm enjoying this podcast, which I am, like I'm enjoying this podcast, I'm enjoying like making it and everything. And seeing that like the response isn't like exactly what we want it to be and everything and like
Mhm.
seeing like how people like watch it and everything. It's like 11% like audience retention or whatever, which nobody's gonna be hearing this anyways. But it's like it's just weird to see that it's like, oh, that's not good, and it's like, well,
Mhm.
I'm. It's just like it's sad. It's been getting me worn down seeing all these things that are really not like my forte, I guess, and
Mhm.
like seeing that it's like what has to happen and everything.
Yeah.
It's just like I'll do it and everything. Like it's not like a thing where it's like I'm not gonna do this. It's just like it wears me down to constantly be researching that you're not good right now,
Mhm.
and you're not like, and I know that there's like room for improvement, and I realize that, but it's like I just don't want. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's just like I'm just getting worn down by
Yeah.
everything.
I think you're surrounding yourself with a lot of information that isn't helping.
Yeah,
Like that's a lot of stuff where it's I try to avoid it
yeah,
because I just know it's gonna do less good. Like, it's gonna do more bad than good.
hmm,
At least to know, like looking at statistics with at least like what we're doing
yeah,
isn't that important to me because I feel like we don't necessarily have like a good census, and I also feel like it's just like it's not really productive.
yeah,
I mean, like I think it's important to know like if people are interested or uninterested,
hmm,
but you can only take that kind of information with a grain of salt. So
yeah,
I know like for myself, it doesn't get to me as much because I do kind of rationalize it in my head, where I'm
hmm,
like, but
yeah,
what good is this gonna do to me to know this?
yeah,
You know?
yeah. Like I understand that, but like I don't know. Like I want to have a career in it and everything,
Sure.
but like at the same time, it's like my biggest fear is just being homeless.
Yeah.
like
Which
I
won't happen.
like I just don't want to be homeless, and
No.
if I can be like at my if I can be sustaining myself while pursuing this career with like a waiter job or whatever, I'd be okay. I just don't want to be homeless, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I have such a big irrational fear that I'm not going to make enough money.
Mhm.
Like I'm not going to make enough money to sustain myself, and it's just like seeing all this stuff about what you got to do to get a career in it,
Mhm.
and then being like, "Fuck, I'm gonna be homeless because this shit's not gonna work or anything. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make money off of this and everything." It's just a big misplaced thing
Mhm.
with me, where it's like I'm battling a side of my brain that wants like to be like sustainable with like my career in film and everything, but also realizing that most likely that won't happen. And
Yeah.
it's like that's just a big fear of mine. Is just being homeless and seeing all this stuff. It's like fuck, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. But then another thing is like, well, I'm gonna die anyways. That and that's like in college. Like I was looking at like what else I'd study, and it's like, well, why would I study anything else if this is what I want?
Yeah.
And it's like,
Well, I think that's where you have to stop your worrying then.
yeah,
Cuz first of all, I think you blow it up way too fast and way too quick.
yeah,
Like jumping straight to like I'm not going to get a job, I'm going to be homeless and it doesn't matter cuz I'm going to die anyway.
yeah,
Like that's just it's ridiculous to think like that.
yeah,
You can't.
yeah,
It's ridiculous to focus on the negative side of what we're doing right now because if you're only focusing on the negatives, then what's the point? You
mm-hmm,
know, the only real thing is to try to enjoy yourself while you're here
yeah,
and try to focus on getting better because you want to get better for yourself. And the the right thing will come to you the same way. Like we're here now because like for a reason, you know?
mm-hmm,
Just that different things happen to bring us where we are now and different things will happen to get us to where we're going.
yeah,
So I just think you got to kind of trust in the process a little bit
yeah. You
and
gotta
just
like
know
trust
that
in
like
myself and
that
everything.
it's not all on your shoulders personally
Yeah,
to change the world
mm-hmm.
in that way.
Well, I'm not even worried about changing the world.
I'm saying just like
You know?
changing your fate and that
Yeah,
kind of stuff of just like I can't be homeless. You
yeah,
know, like that's just not gonna like it's not even like it is an irrational fear because
yeah,
if you get a job anywhere you'll make money and you won't be homeless.
yeah,
And while there are like many different cases for why different people are homeless, sometimes the case may be that they don't want to work
yeah.
and you want to work.
No, yeah, I want to work.
So I know like it's I mean the homeless thing might be a touchy subject for some people, but I just think like I think it's definitely irrational because you need to know who you are
Mm-hmm.
with your like who you are. And I think that if you think about who you are, there's no way that you can really rationally have that kind of a fear, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think it's I mean like it's a consistent worry that's gonna be there until
You
the
die.
end of time.
Yeah.
Like there's not gonna be a point where you're like, I made it, I'm good.
Yeah. No. And that's
Because
never gonna
that's just
happen.
not how it's gonna be.
And I realized that and everything. It's just like this past weekend. I think with like getting like my classes all like figured out and everything, and being
Sure.
like, why am I in film school if I'm not gonna make any money really out of it?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It's just like it all caught up to me this weekend, I guess, and I was just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think it's totally fine to have a period of time where you just like let it all soak in
yeah,
and you kind of take in all the like not even negativity, but just like the realistic side of different things
yeah.
before you have to just let it wash away
That's
and
kind
just
of
get back to life.
yeah,
Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be feeling like this forever because you're just in a moment where you're thinking about everything.
yeah,
And it's important to know what's going on around you and have a sense of just what's happening
yeah,
and just like the state of where you are as a person. But in the end, you're going to have to like just like refocus, like bring down the scale to that one thing again
yeah.
and just like live your life the way humans can operate.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we live too big, it's beyond like what we're capable of.
It's like worrying about death
Yeah.
like all the time, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not gonna like
And it's like
it doesn't do us any good.
yeah, it's important to know what it is and to spend time thinking about it.
Yeah,
And then as a human, you have to rationalize it, put it in a box, and then put it in the back of your brain where it
Mhm.
can sit, you can keep it, but you can't think about it all the time because if all these boxes are open, then it's going to be a big cluttered mess.
yeah.
So,
That's a big thing that was plaguing me this weekend.
yeah.
So
And that's totally good. Like it's good that you thought about it and that you were like focusing on it and kind of like obsessing about the
yeah,
different things going into it. But I just want you to know, like just to remember that like
don't get
yeah, don't get too caught up
bogged
in
up in
thinking
it.
that this is
Yeah,
the case because you're going to come back down and it'll be calm again
yeah,
and it's not like this all the time.
yeah. Another thing that I was thinking about this weekend. That was a good talk though.
Yeah.
It was good. But another thing I was thinking about this weekend. I don't know what it is. I mean, this has been like a while, like going at it for a while. But like, I'm just so afraid of being pretentious now.
Mhm.
I'm really afraid of it for some reason. Like, I don't want to be pretentious, and like,
Yeah.
I'm getting kind of tired of like kind of the art student like mindset, I guess.
Yeah.
Where it's like I'm getting kind of tired of thinking like that now, and it's like I'm trying to actively go away from it. I think
Yeah.
just because like I'm getting tired of like I don't know things always having to be like artsy and stuff, and like I don't know. I'm just so afraid of being like pretentious right now.
Yeah. I think the way to actually move away from it rather than trying to move away from it is stop caring.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like the way to not be pretentious is to not care.
Yeah,
I think you just got to like not worry about it. A pretentious thing won't be pretentious if you don't care if it is or not.
yeah,
You
that's
know?
true.
I think you got to just try to let it go.
Yeah.
Rather than like actively go against it. I think it's more of a thing of just like
Well, it's not,
more just like just accept what you want to think
yeah,
and just be like this is what I think.
yeah.
And that's it.
That's another thing is like it's not like I don't know whether you're trying to say that like I'm not enjoying things or something like that.
No, no, no.
Oh, okay. Well, when I mean actively going away, it's not like telling myself I like things, I guess. It's
Mhm.
just more like reminding myself like just constantly reminding myself like be honest about like what you're feeling
Yeah.
and not being like not like forcing yourself to like the artsiest shit because it's artsy and everything.
Mhm.
Like actively try to think, do you like this actually?
Yeah.
And everything.
And
But
I think that's what I'm trying to point towards
yeah,
is mainly just like just be honest with yourself.
yeah, that's what.
And that's how you get away from like being even like it doesn't matter if people think you're pretentious if you know you're not.
Yeah,
If you're just being honest.
yeah. But also, yeah, that's just
Yeah.
that was a big. I don't know. That was just like a small thought this
Yeah.
weekend, where it's just like I got thinking about it more. It's like I just don't want to be like that. I guess just because I'm seeing so much of it in film school and everything.
Yeah.
Just because I see a lot of it in like art students and Reddit and everything, and it's just like I don't know. I'm getting kind of fed up with it.
Yeah, there's a place for it, but
It's not like It's not like everything has to be that way.
No.
Like, it's just seeing it so often and then hearing myself and everything. I don't know. I just don't want to be like that.
Yeah. And it's a weird thing where I almost feel like it's not necessarily that people are just like that. It's what people think they have to be like.
Yeah.
Like it almost seems like it's like a responsibility of a film student or an art student
To have this
to
highbrow taste.
yeah,
Right?
to have this highbrow taste when it's like I can just like something, you know?
Yeah.
Like even if Twilight Zone wasn't great or anything and like I just wanted to like it and
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily like it that much cuz there were some big problems. But just say for instance if I did
Yeah.
and it was just like kind of stupid and I liked it, I'd be like, yeah, I liked it. You know, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's okay to say that as someone who's supposed to like know a lot about film and stuff cuz I don't know. You can have guilty pleasures, you can just like things.
Yeah. And
So,
I feel like
yeah.
with film scenes, especially with like our crowd and everything,
yeah.
people put a lot of effort onto being like the most niche motherfucker around.
I know.
People put a lot of effort on that. Even me.
No, yeah.
I get into that mode, but now I'm trying to not be like that and like just realize that like you don't have to be the most niche motherfucker around. That's like
no.
you gotta just genuinely enjoy what you enjoy.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, just seeing like some of the conversations about like experimental films and like all this different stuff with like I don't know, just seeing how film students are and how they interact is like talking about the most niche director around and like shaming like I don't know, like Avengers or whatever.
I know.
It's stupid. I was very much that way. But
Yeah.
now I'm starting to be like, no, fuck that. Like it's so stupid.
Yeah.
Like the conversation that we had last night about like music being like dumb and everything. It's like it's not dumb.
No.
Like if it, like Playboy Cardi and stuff, like dumb music has a place.
Yeah.
You don't need to like
And it's not even like necessarily dumb music. It might just be considered like easy music. Like
Ignorant
easy to
music.
listen to.
Yeah.
Like it's going for something completely different. I
Yeah.
feel like it kind of ties back to just like what we were just talking about like getting like caught up in
Yeah.
thinking about the big things, like thinking so wide as people when you kind of have to just bring it back down.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the place of art in some ways too.
Mhm.
Sometimes you'll go and watch some director that you can't even pronounce his name, and you're like, wow, this was a woke movie. I can't believe what this was. Like, this means so much to me. And there's a place for that, where you
Oh,
feel
yeah.
those feelings again. You feel what they felt when they were looking at the world when it was this big.
Yeah.
But then you have to come back down, and then you can go and listen to a Playboy Cardi, or you go watch Avengers Endgame, and you just go have a good time.
Or like
And you're
go
just looking at the
go
world
to the
again.
club and see like Post Malone
Sure.
or like listen to Post Malone at the club or whatever.
Yeah, just go back down to like the normal plane where it's
Yeah.
like there's
Watch a
nothing wrong with
sitcom.
this.
Yeah.
It's just life sometimes.
Yeah. It's just like film students put so much
Yeah.
weight on it.
I know.
They
I
put
know.
so much weight on it, dude. And seeing that is just it. I don't know. It annoys me now.
Yeah.
It's
That's
starting
okay.
to, huh?
I said it's okay.
Yeah.
Like
It's not like a bad thing. Like I don't. I mean, I get like annoyed if it's like they feel superior in
Mhm.
that way. Just cause it's like, well, why?
Yeah.
Like if someone's inspired by like Endgame or like Post Malone or whatever, then let them be inspired by Post Malone or Endgame.
Yeah. Usually I just have to like I always try to kind of break down people when I see that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And when I see people trying to be too superior in that kind of way, I instantly go the other direction. And I'm like, this instantly makes you inferior. Like as far
Mhm.
as like just like you're definitely more insecure about this than I am because I don't care,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Look at that. Another battery died. What?
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
It's
I
crazy,
can't
man.
believe this. That's
That-
insane.
that's wacky.
That's wacky, bro.
So wacky.
But yeah, it's just seeing so much talk on like Reddit and art students being like pretentious and everything.
Mhm.
And like if you like this really popular album, then you're like circle jerking this one album, and it's like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
shut the like you can I'm not even talking about like death grips and shit.
Mhm.
That's circle jerking on like the internet. Like everyone loves death grips, and you get shamed if you like death grips.
Yeah.
That's another thing. If you like a niche thing, but it's not niche in like a small group,
Mhm.
then you're dumb. and like not niche enough. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
It's just
It's so dumb how like even nerds have this niche inside of a niche.
yeah.
How it always you gotta like if you want to be the coolest nerd out there and the coolest art student, you gotta like literally this guy that has 5 followers
Yeah.
and makes like this like pretty good music. I just don't understand.
Yeah.
I'm getting so fed up with it.
In the end, who are you trying to impress?
Yeah, some random guy on the internet.
The thing is, it's like when you get so niche like that, it's like, okay, cool, it's you and that guy.
Yeah,
Like, I hope you guys are happy there.
yeah,
I don't know. It's just silly. Like when you think too much about it, you realize how stupid it is.
yeah.
Where it's just like, why are you worrying about this? Just like what you like. Enjoy it. Try to share it with people so that they can feel what you felt too.
Yeah,
That's
why with like
about
the
it.
Billy Woods thing, it's like, yeah, I like the album, but I recognize that no one gives a fuck about it.
Yeah, and someone does. Like
It's-
other people do. Yeah,
I
with
give
you.
a fuck about it.
Yeah.
And I give a fuck that like and like other people on the internet do, but it's
Yeah.
not like Billie Eilish, and I recognize that. But like, I'm not gonna shame people for liking Billie Eilish.
No, because it's not. That's just like it's a completely different conversation.
Yeah,
Like what you don't have to compare art like that. It's not like Billie Eilish is doing anything to Billy Woods. It's just that they coexist,
yeah.
and people then pit them up against each other because in their world they are competing.
Mm-hmm. They're competing for mind share.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know, just seeing the interactions among art students and Reddit users and everything. It's really like
Yeah.
I'm just at a point where it's like fuck it.
Is it time to unplug? Again.
I like Reddit too much.
Yeah. My dad has just recently gotten into Reddit.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was funny. We
I
were
love
talking
Reddit.
and he was just like, "Hey, I like that Reddit." I'm like, "Yes, you do, Dad. I'm sure. I know it. I knew it. Like that is very up his alley." He was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I just love going onto the subreddits and seeing this and that." I'm like, "Yep,
No, Reddit's
yep,
great.
They got you too, Dad. They got you too."
I like Reddit, but it's like some of the hip hop communities and some of the movie communities and everything. It's like it's draining as fuck
Yeah.
to continually see these people trying to one up each other by how small they can get. It's so weird. It's like you should be competing about. I mean, it makes sense, but like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. It's a big slippery slope. In the end, I know it's like stupid. It's like you gotta like not think about it, but it's just in the end you gotta just bring it back to yourself and just be like,
Yeah,
you
I
know
mean-
what? It's okay. I just like this because I like this, and you gotta just simplify it to the point where it doesn't matter.
In the end, I'm gonna leave this and go listen to Billie Eilish's new album.
Yeah.
And then in the same breath, listen to Billy Woods' album.
Good.
And it's not like, and then I'll watch like Catfish at the same time I'll watch this niche fucking horror movie.
Yeah.
It's so, I don't know. Just hearing film students and everything got me fed up.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I think that's it.
Whew. Yeah.
think
Yeah,
that's
I
it?
think that's about it.
Do you have anything else to say?
I watched a Catfish episode where it was a guy pretending to be a girl.
Oh,
in
shit.
Michigan, and they went to the house, and he was like, "Hey, it's me." He like he ended up being like really close to the guy too, like living really close,
Really?
and it was interesting. And he didn't have like a whole lot of remorse at first. He was like, "Yeah, like I just do this to guys," and then like their friends were like, "Yeah, he does that for fun sometimes." And we're like, "What the hell?" And this guy's like, "You just played me for years."
Oh my god.
Yeah, Catfish is such a fun show.
No, it's so good.
We can go and watch that after this.
No,
if you
I
want.
want to watch
Like,
it right
it's
after
so
this.
fun.
It's so good, dude.
But anyway,
That is
yeah.
one of the most fun shows I've ever seen.
Such a good concept.
It's so good. Just watching people get
Uh.
duped and then be emotionally distraught afterwards. It's so good. It's so fun.
Oh my gosh.
I don't understand.
All right, let's go watch it.
Let's
Let's
go
get outta
watch
here.
it. But first, down in the description, we got Patreon, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. All down in the description.
Yes.
Go check it out. Got anything else to say, Matthew?
Oh boy, I don't think so. Just be excited for next week, because there will be another episode. Nothing necessarily special.
Yeah.
Just another episode.
I was
you
like,
know?
wait, am I-
because
am
you
I-
want to just
am I
keep
missing
tuning in,
something?
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, check us out next week.
We should have Jacob,
We should maybe have Jacob.
maybe.
But
Anyhow,
ni hao.
Kylan. See ya.